Hey, J-Bros popping in. This is a super exciting video, plus also very, very tough. This is top 10 priorities, and obviously there's going to be more than 10 on this list, but with that being said, I'm going to start with the most crucial things you need to do first when you're buying a mini skid, and especially I'll just say the CRT 23. Very first thing when you purchase this, dump the fluids, oil changes, stuff like that. After you check your oil, after you change your oil and ran it for 10 hours, whatever, check it again, see if it looks clean or not. It's not an expensive task, nor is it that time consuming. It's just a precautionary good measure to do. I did it. I don't regret it. I'm at 160 hours. Same engine, Ratto engine, has been great for me. So first and foremost, get your fluids changed and you'll be good to go on the engine front. I'm going to go into a couple things that are just auto musts that I would say it's so cheap, there's no reason not to do it. This anti-fatigue mat, some of you guys might be more young and athletic than me, but I absolutely love this anti-fatigue mat down here. If you walk on concrete versus on a fatigue mat, it's night and day difference. Like $5. You can go to one of these mats for 15 bucks, put it on there. And all I did was zip tie that on. The other extra measure I did is I put springs on here. That also helps with the ride. So that kind of coincides itself. The next thing that is also cheap to do, add an extra fan. Add this heat tape wrap here. Those, between the heat tape wrap here and this extra fan, basically solved all my heating issues. And I ran this fan on a separate switch with an extra battery. So if you're going to run the fan, I would just say get an extra battery. That way you don't impede on your starting power and stuff like that. I'd say that's just a must. I mean, to keep the machine running, cooled off and whatnot, I'd say those are also just super cheap things. And with the battery on there, this bunk charger, it's honestly just totally game changing. I know this is one of the latest updates I've done. That's why this list was so tough as far as priorities. So I'm trying to stick to the cheaper stuff. This charger has just been amazing. I can pull my machine into the shop. I just plug it in every time. It charges both batteries. I start the next day, boom. They're ready to go all day and keep my machine cool all day. And like you guys already seen my other video, there's my fan right there. Now I'm gonna talk the two, maybe three biggest things. That's why this list is so tough, because unless you do those first early on priorities, those just kind of need to be done. But the most important thing for this whole entire machine, get a new track. That's where it's like, it should be priority number one is getting a new track, but you can make do with the track. But the problem is this track, I believe now runs 500 bucks a track. So there's other tracks out there that you can get. I believe the Duroforce track, I want to say runs 130 bucks a piece. But I'm telling you right now, I've ran this track over 60 hours. This track has not come off one time. And this is a Fortis HD track, 500 bucks a piece. So I got 1,000. Well, I personally got just about 800 bucks into these tracks, worth every penny. Yeah, track is like the number one priority for this machine to unlock all the potential, but you got to be willing to fork out the money for it. So if you're trying to get by with lower budget stuff that you can do, those other things are what I recommend. Also, I would say the Next biggest game-changing, cost money investment I made is this bucket. This bucket is amazing. I paid custom to have it made for me. It was $1,000, but it has paid off itself in speed because of the amount of material it can move, its cutting ability for strip and sod, all that stuff is total game changer. So if you're in that realm of wanting to spend money again to improve performance, that bucket, it's not mandatory, but I would say it's kind of a priority. To go with the bucket, your absolute priority is, if you're going to run a bucket of this size, you absolutely have to do these cross welds up here. This machine will not handle this bucket without the welds here to hold this U-bar from bending. You need the strap up here. Some people have done a nice plate up here. I think that's also insanely wise where they've welded there. I just did a strap here and then the two under straps there. Obviously you guys have seen that in my videos. And I hate to get ahead of myself too much, far as maintenance is insanely important. So I'm getting kind of off track on the excitement of my mainstay things that I love the most, like the track and the bucket. Grease your machine, change your oils, check your levels. That's just mega priorities. The next thing is, just because you got this amazing track on here, you still have to be cautious about keeping your carriage and your track clean. You got to be cautious of the like, just because I got this great track on doesn't mean I can just allow gravel to fall into my track. I mean, you'll know when you're getting material in there. You want to try to make sure you're driving on good surface and you're not letting stuff build up. Like right now, this is from operating today. I was stripping some sod, black dirt, whatever. I'll end up cleaning this up when I clean the machine out. But it's always good to just keep the gravel and rocks out of here, because that's just tough on the unit. And I would say the other objective, or you can call it a priority or not, but if you're going to run it in the winter like I did, and I moved snow, the canopy was a huge thing for me for the winter. Is it a must? Is it that great of it, or that big of a deal? It was for me. I don't like wind blowing in my face, and I just wanted to be doing it at any time. Plus, it actually keeps heat in the machine, so you actually stay a little bit warmer in the rig itself. I'm just kind of, for me, maybe light upgrades. I do have some extra lights to put on there. It's not super important. And I'll just go kind of with the counterweights here. Once again, if you're going to use the bigger bucket, you need the welds. And with those two things in there, you absolutely need counterweights to run effectively. And I don't even believe I've got enough weight on here. Honestly, these are 80 pounds a piece. They could probably be double. The only problem I see with having even more counterweight on here is if you're then starting to outlift what the machine is actually capable of. So I don't know if a guy really wants to push with this size of bucket, which is already, borderline on the machine, too big. It's not too big used in the right way. So those kind of go hand in hand. Bucket, welding, counterweights. They're all kind of connected. And much like after I figured out the fan, having the fan separate from the one on board, the onboard charger is kind of a mandatory for the two batteries and the extra fan and stuff like that. With all that being said, I would say those are the priorities in order of importance for the machine, to not only for not wrecking it, and that's why I recommend the maintenance stuff, the oil changes, the fluids, stuff like that. That's why I also recommend the cheap wraps and doing that, and then like the fan, that's all pretty you know, cost efficient to get the use out of the engine itself. Now, machine performance, absolutely the track. There's no question the tracks that these come with are just junk. But yeah, if you got anything else that I'm missing, I think I touched it all. Like I said, there's so many things that I get so excited about. And the other thing I'll throw out as a priority, keep your machine clean. Right now my machine is about as dirty as I allow it to get. I will be pressure washing this. That's why I got it back up in the shop here. So yeah, I think I've touched base on everything. And of course, I've got a bunch of attachments. I'll just hit on those in what does all this stuff cost? How much have I spent to get the machine to where I've got it and where I absolutely love the absolute setup on this. It's worth everything and more. I don't know what I would do without it. But those are my kind of top 10 plus lists. What I would do right away. Shoot, and guess what? I forgot another thing. Change the grease zerks. These come with some sort of panhead Chinese grease zerks. Pop those out as well. I kind of forgot about that. That's pretty important, but you can get by with the other stuff. But I'll leave it there for now. Yeah, please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if I'm missing anything that I haven't even done to my machine yet. Please like, subscribe. J-Bros out.